Konichiwa Minasan. 1 year ago, when I first visited the house, my neighbor was demolishing his barn. We asked if it would be possible to salvage some of the big beams, and our neighbor happily shared them.
7 o'clock in the morning here, sun's just rising. And here's the final look at the wood. As you can see, it is pretty beaten up in some areas. That's because it was removed from the barn with just a massive excavator. I'll try to sand those out. They give a bit of character, but also I'll try to hide them on the inside of the bed frame. Let's give the first cuts a try.
Building this 100% recycled wood bed was a massive undertaking. Probably my biggest woodworking project to date. It took nearly 2 weeks when all is said and done, and I learned a lot. One thing was probably not to do this again anytime soon. I'm just kidding, but I am glad that this bed is going to last forever. The bed is a combination of woods, most likely sugi, cedar, which is the most common wood around here and can be seen throughout the nearby forests where they do quite a bit of logging. And then the other wood is most likely keiyaki, or Japanese elm.
My coffee now has a fair amount of sawdust in it, so I think that just adds to your daily fiber requirements, doesn't it?
As I only had the wood available to me on site, I had to make sure that it was done right. I didn't have any extra, and I don't think it would be easy to come across old barn wood in a pinch. I tried to use basic maths, keep everything to 90-degree cuts, and keep the number of cuts to a minimum.
Now, before going any further, I think it's time to mark the wood, so I know exactly which piece is which, and I don't mess it up. There's no going back, no double tries. Here we go. I've left a bit extra so I can trim it off after.
I love using the traditional tools left to me by the previous owner, such as the straight cutting saws, the chisels, and other tools which are a joy to use. For the more challenging work, I decided to upgrade a century or so to a brand new circular saw. I'm very happy with my Makita, and I'm sure it will come in useful for other projects I have planned for this year, such as the new snow guard system and reclaiming the old attic upstairs. While I love watching Japanese wood joinery, I am nowhere close to attempting it, especially while sleeping on the floor and building it in a tight time frame.
Okay, so I think that's got it for day 1.5. I'm absolutely drenched. It's 31 degrees here. I've got the footers, almost about the head. Need to sand, need to finish it. And I got the cross beams kind of cut out how they're going to interlay. And this is a brace just across at the back because I'm saving that other big one to be a headboard. Done. So I got this nifty little sanding disc off of Amazon, and it comes with a mountain of different sandpapers all the way up to P800. I don't think I'm going to need that, but I'm going to probably start on about P80, give it a try, see how it works. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then it's back to the drawing board. A lot of just probably handwork. Alrighty, cool.
Sanding, sweeping, shoveling sawdust, and then showering would end up consuming the next week or so of my life. With kids running around in 36-degree weather outside, work time was limited and exhausting. The sanding wasn't too difficult, just time consuming and a lot of back and forth. I started with either P60 or P80 based upon how banged up it was, and then I would move up to somewhere between 120 and 180 for the inside sections, and even up to 220 grit for the exposed header and footer to make it silky smooth.
So here's the first look at the first piece after just a rough P80 sand, and I think it's coming out pretty well. I want to leave a bit of the accent on it so it is rustic. We know it's rustic. I'm just going to put beeswax on it to coat it, but I think that's really cool. As a little pro tip from this very amateur woodworker, if you're building a bed, it's good to know how big your mattress is going to be. Turns out sizes are different here in Japan than what I was expecting, and so I'm going to have to recut every single piece of wood and rework it, but luckily they're smaller than what I was planning, so All the wood is still good. So I've measured out the area that I want cut out, obviously, sawed it about 1,000,000 times, hoping to bang that out now with a hammer. And the idea is eventually everything will interlock. So there I have the back where I'm going to have the headboard, and in the front I want these nubs to slide in nice and clean to where I just cut out. Let's see. There's the first look after 1,000,000 saws. Kind of all I care about is this edge here, so I'm going to sand it all, beeswax it. It's going to be good.
What more can I say about sanding? After building this project, I have great respect for some of the YouTube channels I follow of people doing epoxy work. The dedication, and to get that perfect finish, wow, I will get nowhere near there, and I am perfectly fine with that. The wood was in excellent condition to begin with. After being ripped out of the barn by an excavator, the main work was just a bit of sanding. There were a few dings and cracks, which I needed to fix with a glue and screw. For this, I would glue the wood together with wood glue, screw it down, and then make a putty of sawdust and glue to hide any cracks and the screw heads. This little passion project has been fun, and I love that it's something I will get to enjoy every night. The wood from the barn is probably 50 to 60 years old. Why not give it another 50 or 60 years as a bed?
As a word of advice, if you get sawdust in your eye, don't flush it with water from the kiddie pool. You will end up getting pink eye, and it sucks. Yeah. I think we're now on day 7 or day 8 of sanding. I think it's the final day. That's it. The last piece. Then I'm gonna wax them up. Assembly tomorrow. Awesome.
Victory was nearly in sight, with the final touches coming to a close, just sanding up the edges and all the little grooves and nooks and crannies, places where I could stub my toe. We were almost there. The last of sanding was almost done, just finally going with that final last bit of 220 grit sandpaper, and this will be done. For finishing, instead of using a stain or a varnish, I decided to simply apply a beeswax cream. The reason I did this was because when I was doing research in how to build a bed on YouTube, I came across an awesome Japanese carpenter, and that's what he used. It creates a beautiful finish and really shows off the natural color of the wood. I've been super impressed with this product and have in the end used it throughout the house doing other projects, such as when I was renovating the kitchen and exposing the old 150-year-old beams, I ended up applying it across them as well. That video will too be coming out, but who knows when.
And here we go. After a solid week and a half of work on this, it's finally here. Construction time. Got all my wood laid out, more or less. I've got my L brackets, I've got my screws. Just gonna take it to the other room and start constructing.
Finally, construction day. All the pieces were there and it was time to build it. One thing that I didn't take into account was my silliness in putting the footer in backwards and trying to fit the big peg into the slightly smaller wedge. Silly me. I quickly reversed this and everything ended up fitting like a charm. With all my calculations and double checking, I still somehow ended up making a mistake. I knew the mattress was going to be 2 times 97 centimeters, so 194 total, and I therefore calculated the frame to be 195 wide. Somehow it ended up being 192, and I still have no clue how. I remember my previous errors, and it should have been 10 centimeters off, not 3, but I am glad. This minor mistake just means that the mattress hangs over the side beams by a centimeter or so on each side. This is fine. In designing the support structure, I already planned that it would finish flush to the beams with the mattress sitting on top and not being sunk into the frame at all. So, in the end, this worked out perfectly fine.
So what I've been doing is putting a lot of L brackets in. It's all recycled wood, so I don't know how strong it is, but I'm putting a ton of L brackets just to hold everything in. It's all screwed in, and then I'm gonna make feet to go under here. So, last one about to go in, all level. Let's give it a go. Planning on kids jumping on the bed, extra supports are now in. And it's actually kind of nice. I'll still be able to clean underneath the bed when this is all assembled. Yep.
With the headboard going in, the bed is finally taking shape. The mattress I purchased is 24.5 centimeters high, so I made the riser gap sit at 23 centimeters, so that the mattress hides the gap while exposing as much of the beam as possible for use and enjoyment. To date, I am lucky that my son hasn't tried to jump off this beam with a flying elbow to crush me below, although I am sure it will happen at some point. I'll try to be ready.
Headboard is in, support structure's in. Might look like I did a bit of overkill on these braces, but it's a solid piece of wood, and I've never heard of wanting to do underkill, so let's do it a bit of overkill is okay. Whew.
With the final cedar planks getting cut down to adjust for my mistakes and then going in, that's about it. The bed is done, and I love it. I believe that any flaw and minor imperfection in the final product will highlight its recycled nature and the new life given to this scrap wood, which it would have otherwise been thrown away. I have more fun coming up on this channel, so thank you as always. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Cheers.